Good afternoon, class. This is Health, and I'm Mr. Ketchum in the sixth grade. So, hey, let's do some sixth grade health. So, today we're going to talk about stress. This is something that it's hard to talk about. We're going to talk about our emotions um, and our feelings, and sometimes that's hard to talk about, but we're going to talk about them today. We're going to talk about positive and negative stress. The first thing I want you to do is I want you to get a piece of paper out, and I want you to write down what you think stress is. So take a few minutes. We're going to write down what is stress. What do you think stress is? And we'll talk about that. Okay, so now that you wrote down what you think stress is, we're going to come back to that in just a second. So today we're going to talk about examples of positive and negative stress and how can we maintain healthy behaviors for both. There's a few vocabulary words I want to go over with you real quick. The first one is stress. What is stress? Stress is a feeling of emotion or physical tension. It can be from any event or thought that makes you feel frustrated or angry or anxious. Stress is your body's reaction to a challenge or demand. The second vocabulary word is a stressor. Stressors are something that causes a state of strain or tension. And the third vocabulary word I want to talk about is meditation. Meditation is to think deeply or focus one's mind for a period of time as a method of relaxation. And sometimes we use meditation when it comes to stress. Okay? So we're going to talk about stress today. So I want to ask you a question, and we're going to talk about this. So is there such a thing as positive stress? Sometimes we think of stress, we think of negative connotations. We think that stress is such a bad thing. We always think of the negative things when it comes to stress. How we feel when something bad happens, we get stressed. We always think that stress is a bad thing, but there is a such thing as positive stress. So let's think of a positive stress real quick. For me, a positive stress is me and my family's getting ready to go to Disney World. We're going to go to Disney World in a couple weeks. Yes, it's a happy event. It's a happy time. We're excited, but we're stressing about some things. We got to worry about plane tickets. We got to worry about hotels, getting there, getting back, who's taking care of our house, who's taking care of our dogs. There's a lot of things that go into the vacation that's stressful. But yes, it's going to be fun. We're going to enjoy it. We're going to have a good time. So those are positive stresses dealing with that event that we're going to deal with. So I want you guys to get in small groups. We're going to go into, I want you to get in groups of 3. Everybody get into a group. Once you get into a group, I want you guys, each of you, to make a T-chart. And I have a T-chart somewhere. Aha, here's my T-chart. Once you get in small groups, you're going to make a T-chart. This looks like a T. And I want you guys to talk about and collaborate and talk about what is a positive stressor and what is a negative stressor. Talk to each other and come up with some ideas on what is a positive stress and what is a negative stress. I'm going to give you a few minutes to talk about that with your neighbors. Come up with some positive stresses and some negative stresses. I'm going to walk around the classroom and kind of look at your ideas as you go along, and then we'll talk about them in a few minutes. Okay, I see some pretty good ideas. I see some good ideas about positive stressors. I see some good ideas about negative stress. So let's come back together as a group. Everybody get back in their seats. And let's talk about these. So let's talk about these stressors that we've talked about. So somebody give me an idea of what they see as negative stress in their life. Johnny, yes, go ahead. Mm-hmm. Yes, I see that. Yes, mom, going on deployment can be a negative stress. Yes, when we have one of our parents being deployed, then that could be negative stress in our life. Yes. Somebody give me an example of a positive stress. Abigail, yes. Mhm. Yes, getting a puppy is a positive stress. Yes, we're so excited to get that little puppy, but there's so much that goes on with it that it could be stressful trying to take care of that little puppy. Yes, very good. So we have examples of positive stress and we have examples of negative stress. So now let me read a couple examples and you tell me if would be a positive stress or it would be a negative stress. Okay. Um, my mom has gotten sick and had to go to the hospital. Would that be a positive stress or a negative stress? Tom, yes. Right, that would be a negative stress. I'd be upset. I'd be worried. If I have a family member that has to go to the hospital, that would be a negative stress. That would be something that would be very negative and it would be stressful and it would be very hard. Thank you. Let's see here. I'm decided to try to buy a Christmas present for a friend. Would that be a positive stress or a negative stress? Johnny, yes, it would be a positive stress. I would want to get a good present for my friend for Christmas. So I would be stressed out because I want to know if that was a good gift or a bad gift. So I would be stressed out, but it would be a good positive event. Yes, we're getting a present for somebody for Christmas, but we want to make sure we do get them a good gift. So yes, that would be a positive stress. That's very good. Those are some examples of real life situations where we could have positive stress and negative stress. So we've realized that we could have positive stress and negative stress in our lives. Both of them can affect us in different ways. So we have to recognize when we become stressed, and we have to recognize if it's a positive stress or if it is a negative stress. And then we can react accordingly on how that makes us feel. And so we know how we can take care of ourselves. So as we close this lesson, I would like you to do tonight for homework. This is your homework. I would like you to create a journal, and I want you to log your positive and your negative stress that you have tonight. So think about when you go home, think about the negative things and your positive things that are happening, and I want you to write them down in a journal. I want you to write down if it's a positive or if it's a negative, if it's a positive stress or if it's a negative stress. Think about how that made you feel. Think about how you reacted to that. And just log it down so we can talk about it and be open about how we feel and how we can react to these feelings. So just write a log. It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be elaborate. Just jot down some events that happened. If you got home and mom made spinach for dinner or something, hey, you can write down in your journal, oh, mom made spinach. It's so gross. I don't want to eat that. Okay, that could be a negative stress, something you didn't want to eat for dinner. Mom could make pizza for dinner tonight, and you got home, hey, mom made pizza. That's awesome. I'm super stoked that mom made pizza. Yay, mom made pizza. So that's a positive thing, okay? So think about these things, kind of jot them down in your journal, and we will talk about them tomorrow. So just bring them with you tomorrow as you come to class, and we will see you tomorrow. So have a good evening, and your journal, make sure you email them to me, ghk3229@uncw.edu, and have a good evening.